Hello, this is Decimal and welcome to Synth News. Today I want to talk about the Behringer Spice, and I'm going to be doing a different video than what I usually do. Instead of talking about the Spice and all its features, I'm going to talk about the ethics when it comes to Behringer and its copying of Moog. So my thoughts in general are that they are making affordable gear, and one cannot argue that Moog's gear is affordable. It's boutique, it's well built, but saying Moog is affordable is not a true statement. And to say Behringer's product is affordable is, I believe, a truer statement. Now, what the Spice does is it completes the trilogy. It completes the knockoff trilogy. So the Behringer Crave copies the Moog Mother 32, the Behringer Edge copies the DFAM, and the Spice copies the Sub Harmonica. And that's the device that I have in front of you right now. My thoughts are as follows. If Moog wants to compete in this market, I believe they should have two categories of synthesizers. One boutique, more expensive category, and another cheaper, more affordable, maybe even digital synthesizer that can compete with Behringer's prices. Similar to what Electron does when it comes to the cycles and the samples, they have, different categories of gear, some that are more expensive and some that are less expensive. And I think Moog needs to approach this in a similar fashion, because then at that point, I assure you that people would rather buy a Moog than a Behringer if you give them the choice. But if you give them no choice, Behringer is going to take the market and be able to do what they want with it. Now, I know this might be a hot take, and I'm not completely against Behringer doing what they are doing, but when you copy something directly one-to-one, again, the key step thing is a whole other issue, because that is gear that's still available and they didn't change literally anything about it. These pieces of gear do have a different form factor, and it is slightly different, even though technically they are the same. So I guess you can call them knockoffs, but I do think they are doing something a little bit different, and I'm not completely against that. However, I do think that Moog needs to step up their game a little bit. And this is not coming from a place of hate or anything. It's coming from a place of love. Like, I want both of these companies to exist, but I also want knockoffs to have some competition. We are seeing, some new gear coming out that's competing with some of Behringer's gear, and I think that's awesome. And at the end of the day, when there is more stuff available on the market and competing against each other, the consumer can win, because we have a diversity of choices. What are your thoughts on Behringer's knockoff trilogy? Let me know in the comments down below.